Hi, I'm 𝐖𝐚𝐭𝐜, the container guy. In this video, we're going to address some of the comments left on one of our videos that got 4 million views by tradesmen, and most specifically, welders. Stay tuned. I got a lot of flack from the welder following out there. They were concerned that I was ripping on my staff a little too hard for not grinding the paint prior to welding on containers. And that's specifically important with one-time use shipping containers because the paint is beautiful. This is an amazing system done at the factory in China. These containers are all sandblast prepped, and then it's a 3-part paint system. So it's a zinc base coat, an epoxy or a zinc rich epoxy mid coat, and then a acrylic top coat. And so that's 3-part paint system. Once we go to weld this, you know, you're lucky if your local container guy gives it a shot, a primer, prior to applying an industrial or marine enamel. And so, and this HSS here has mill scale still on it, and so we can do an angle grinder prep or something on this to try to remove any of the rust, but we're not giving it a white metal sandblast like we should, because there's just no money in that by the time, you know, the customer doesn't even want it because they don't want to pay for it. And so it's really expensive, and because of that, we don't want to burn the paint. Here's an example here, but it's more important, especially when you're welding something where the fresh paint is above it. So here we're not, you know, concerned that the flame is going to go downwards. With gravity, it's going to go upwards. So an example here, now that the welders have done a great job prepping the first 1.5 inches or so of paint back down to white metal, it didn't burn the paint downwards. But if this was not prepped, the burns would come down 3 inches or so, and you know, if it was above you, it might rise up 4, 5, 6 inches, you know, the flames. Oh, here's an example right here. So look, it wasn't prepped quite as well, and see how high it's burnt? And so that's not good. Now, instead of having just to tape off a 2-inch line and touch up that with paint, you have to come up 6, 7, 8 inches, and it's really obvious, and it looks like garbage. And so I do not like it, and I'm appreciative of my guys here. You know, whatever, they missed a little bit in the corner. This whole can's actually getting painted blue, so I'm not too concerned about it, and it's going to come out great. But on that note, so I apologize to all the guys that got offended on that, but that's my rationale. But one thing to show you to get into the heads of welders is our welder is being proactive here. He's a new guy on staff. He knows this is going in for paint, and he wanted to help our painter because our painter's backlogged. So he said, hey, I'll take the decals off the container. And so here's an instance. If you look back where the decals were on the inside of the can, they've grabbed their angle grinder and they've ground off all of the vinyl decals. And you can even see that the black vinyl is still there, so it's burnt right in there now. Those vinyl decals were just applied 3 months ago. The adhesive's hardly cured. It takes 2 seconds with a tiger torch to heat them up quick. Grab your fingernail and peel them off. And so, yeah, if you're prepping your can for paint and you're using the angle grinder and you're wrecking that 3-part paint system just because, you know, you're too lazy to take your gloves off, there's an instance. And so again, welders did a great job here, but you know, you got to lean into them every once in a while. And so now they've been trained, don't do that. And so there was a few other common comments in that video, and we'll get at addressing them in other videos. But for now, I guess if you enjoyed this, or if maybe you forgive me, please help us out. Give the video a like, and if you'd like to see more, please subscribe to our channel and ring that bell for notifications. And as always, check us out at tcg.ca. Hope you learned something.